The Creation Story Through the Eyes of Kai. Kai sat by the roadside. She leaned her back against the wall of Mansa's mud house. She had nothing. She felt lost, and it hurt so bad. The heavy feeling that there was no getting out of this. She was crying inside.
This can't be the life I'm meant to live. There's absolutely nothing here.
She muttered to herself as she dozed off into a deep sleep. Somehow, this part of town felt even more comfortable than her own home. She found herself in a water-filled, terribly dark place. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't see. She began to panic.
Are we in June? Is Accra flooded again? Is Doomsor back? Why is it so dark?
She wished with all her might that she could see what was going on.
What was that?
She could hear a voice, powerful yet soothing at the same time. She wasn't sure what she heard, but it sounded like, "Let there be light." Suddenly, she felt blinded by the bright light.
Oh no! Help! Help!
She began to yell. She was really in water.
This is it.
She thought.
Maybe that's the last light they keep talking about in the movies.
Oh, but what's this? The water began to separate, horizontally. Part of the water seemed to be floating upwards, almost as if it were being lifted. Then she heard,
"Sky. I'll call it Sky."
What a relief! She could breathe again. Kai was grateful for all her childhood playtime by the beach in Teshi. She mustered every bit of skill she could remember to keep herself afloat. Then the water began to move again. This time, it felt like a pull to the side, and she could see something.
Oh, is that land? Land! Land!
She screamed. As soon as the water settled, she swam to shore. Kai intuitively wrapped her arms around herself, but strangely, she wasn't cold, and her clothes weren't wet. She sat down, confused but incredibly grateful. This was much better than what she had experienced earlier. All that yelling, she really could have drowned. Suddenly, Kai jolted up. Something had tickled her. She let out a laugh, then turned to see what it was. Something was creeping out of the soil. Plants, herbs, grass, and trees were rising. It was like a symphony playing out around her. She didn't know what it was, but for the first time in her life, she felt at peace. She spun around and started moving her arms like an orchestral conductor. It was exhilarating. Then she heard splish, splosh, splash, plop. Then came a deep rumbling. Something was happening in the water. Kai was scared, but there was simply too much joy in her heart. She decided joy was better. She let go of her fear, closed her eyes, and lifted her head toward the heavens. She felt her face cool with refreshing droplets of water. When she looked down, she saw dolphins, whales, and her absolute favorite, tilapia. She was already mentally pairing it with hot kenkey and salivated a bit. Her imagination was broken by a sudden swoosh sound.
Are those birds?
She thought. Kai laughed. Why did this all feel like the beautiful melodies of Cinnasol? She let go and she danced. She conducted. She sang. Her heart felt so full. Then she heard a soft voice telling the creatures to multiply and fill the water and the sky. She got goosebumps. Something landed on her nose. She looked at it and fell down.
Everyone gets a butterfly, but not me. I get a dragonfly.
She was beside herself with joy. Something tapped her. She jumped, but it was just a bunny. She gently touched its soft fur and began to play with it. Then she felt a gentle nudge. She turned around and found herself face to face with a lion. But she wasn't scared. The lion had kind eyes, and it lifted its paw, almost as if to pay homage.
What is this feeling I'm feeling?
You see, Kai was the kind of girl who ran when she saw even a small dog. She vividly remembered how her neighbor's dog had chased her down years ago. She still had the scar on the back of her thigh. But right now, she felt a sense of responsibility for these animals, as if she were meant to take care of them, not fear them. It was a strange, beautiful sense of self-rediscovery. Suddenly, she felt a presence. It was a being, looking so majestic yet kind, powerful yet comforting. She loved it instantly. The being was creating something, making the most beautiful figure out of the dust. She watched in absolute amazement. It looked a bit like the statue of Kwame Nkrumah, but it was much more perfect. Then she heard a deep breath, and the figure came to life. It was a man.
Wait,
She whispered.
did I just witness creation?
She looked around and realized everything was happening exactly according to her Sunday school stories.
Oh my God, did I just see God?
She began to tremble.
How am I still alive? Or maybe, am I already?
She was lost in her thoughts again. She turned on the verge of tears when she saw the man in a deep sleep. God was making woman,
Oh no, I missed the part about the ribs.
she thought, realizing what a moment of worry could do. She had missed a miracle because she was in her head. She decided she wasn't going to miss another second. She paid rapt attention.
What a beauty.
God was painstakingly crafting the woman. She was beautiful. Right then, Kai had an epiphany.
God doesn't look like he has a gender. Why do we say he? Wait, God has no gender in the Ga language. Maybe it's just an English mess.
She thought. And looking at the man and woman so happy together, she wondered.
Why did Ma and Da fight so much?
She was slowly realizing that things in the world were not as they seemed. But the most powerful part for her was when she saw God looking at everything, including the man and the woman, and saying,
This is very good.
before taking a rest,
Kai! Kai! Wake up, Kai!
Kai opened her eyes. Nothing around her had changed. She was still dirty, her clothes were still tattered, and her stomach was still rumbling. But she was smiling. She felt good.
If I do nothing else at all in this life, I will take care of God's earth.
This is Kai now. She values herself. She keeps herself, her home, and her environment clean. She encourages others to do the same, not with force, but with love. She still faces hurdles, but they don't wear her down anymore, because now she takes everything to the Lord in prayer, and she actually listens.